Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We've got a ton going on here at Spirit Blade Productions and Christian Geek Central, including our in-depth Bible study for geeks, movie, game, and other entertainment reviews or commentary, live streams, Christian geek news, original audio dramas, and tons more. And on top of all that, you can become a Spirit Blade insider with an influential voice and get access to exclusive content and rewards. It's your involvement as a patron that will keep all of this going and growing, so I want to thank you for your consideration in that. For more information, please check out our Patreon page through the link below at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Thanks for listening. Hey guys, Peter Franson here from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Been a little while, but once again it's time for the Christian Geek News Radar. This is where I shine a spotlight on some cool stuff that may be of particular interest to Christian geeks. First off, if you want weekly updates about geek entertainment from Christian creators, be sure to catch the Christian Geekly News segment that I do every week on the Christian Geek Central podcast. And for even more frequent updates, regular updates throughout the week, be sure to follow Christian Geek Central on Twitter at Christian_geek. All right, so let's see what we have going on this month. Oh yeah, first up, let me show you this trailer from Revelation Games for their upcoming game that's coming to Kickstarter, Eden Remains Arrival. Take a look.
Traumatic event detected. Administering emergency stimulation protocol.
You can also follow word about that game by going to Twitter and following at Games Revelation. All right, now for a whole bunch of book news. Christian geek fiction, well, fiction specifically written by geeks. How do I say that? Fiction for geeks written from a Christian perspective. So not always for a Christian geek audience, but always for a geek audience of some kind and written by a Christian. First up, we've got Acolyte. The FBI have never been this close to trapping Zaphon, and they need Winter's help to set their dangerous plan in motion. But Zaphon is weaving a trap of his own. Did I say Zaphoth before? I don't know what I said. Zaphon. Weaving a trap of his own, the Acolyte is unleashed, a demon slaughtering its way to Sandy and haunting Winter with memories she would rather forget. As her past threatens to tear apart the present, driving those she loves to turn against her, she must now face a far worse enemy alone. Herself. And that's book 3 of the Winter series, out now by Oliver D. King. Again, that's called Acolyte. Salvare's Mountain by D.P. Rowell. Gideon can dream in alternate realities, but he'd give anything not to. Those who can dream like Gideon must devote themselves to the gray, a magic the citizens of citizens of Anchorton? I think so. Crave like starved animals. The masters known as the bards have everyone eating out of the palm of their hands, but Gideon knows better. The Grey stole everything he ever loved from him. Determined to get it back, he must convince those he loves that life is somehow more blessed without this addictive magic. But in his attempt to purge such a magic from the city, his dreams force him to face a truth he refuses to believe. His gift with the Grey runs deeper than any before him. Now he must choose, give in to the Grey or start a revolution. This is book 1 of the Vranon Lore series. Again, it's called Salvare's Mountain by D.P. Rowell. Then, let's see here, Dawn of Vengeance by Roni Kendig. This one's from Enclave Publishing. A haunting prophecy upended his identity. Now it demands his life. Once a formidable bounty hunter, Marco Deucin is plagued by an insecurity as he tours the realm he now rules. This quiet backwater planet is not as untouched as he'd once thought. Evidence of collusion between Drossaran factions and the powerful Samachians with their forbidden technology litters his encounters. Worse, all signs indicate Zissia, the alien who tortured him, is still snatching Kinigos' brethren. But to what end? So you just got to try and say it. It's like reading names from the Bible. You just got to like go with the first instinct and say it with boldness, right? I slipped up a little bit on Kinigos' brethren. Still snatching Kinigos' brethren, but to what end? Okay, sorry. That's a distraction, guys. Sorry. Lance Corporal Elijah... Oh, crap. No, it's Aja. Lance Corporal Aja Zakdari works hard to win a coveted place on the Samachian hyperjump program, but instinct tells her that their intel is flawed. Crap. Sorry, I don't have time to record a more polished version of this time around. Despite nearly failing the tests, she is assigned to the team and lands in the middle of a bewildering conspiracy. Haunted by a prophecy that promises pain and war, Marco forges alliances to protect the primitive world against Samachia's devastating influence. But one truth becomes painfully clear. The biggest threat to their world may be much, much closer to home. So this is actually book 2 of what's called the Drossaran Saga, and that's by Roni Kendig, Kendig, and it's Dawn of Vengeance. All right, moving along here. For Whom the Sun Sings. This one's by W.A. Fulkerson. The world is blind. Then one boy is born without sight. No, born with sight. Jeez Louise, Franson. I'd love to blame it on the occlusal guard that I just got, or occlusal splint that I just got recently, but no, I'm just dropping the ball. Nestled in a mountain haven, the remaining people of the world live in a village that is ordinary but strict. A severe peace must be kept severely, as they say. It's all that keeps them from descending into the chaos that claimed the world 100 years ago. Led by the prophet Valdis and his regents, the villagers work, play, marry, and have families. They gather in ceremony once a year to celebrate their day of remembrance. Life is planned, precise, and predictable, until the special abilities of 11-year-old Andreas threaten to undermine it all. Then also, let's see here. This is some news from Lorehaven. This is another face of our friends over at speculativefaith.com. I do a monthly video featuring their content. They announced recently that Lorehaven has now become a monthly webzine sharing news and beyond. I'll read just a little bit of this article here. As of today, and this was January 1st, 2021, Lorehaven has installed a significant upgrade. We are no longer a quarterly magazine/webzine. Now, we have made the jump into a monthly webzine. This new space at lorehaven.com will share short news updates. We'll cover upcoming features, new book releases, and trending issues of interest to Christian fans. That includes the very purpose for Lorehaven's change. It's detailed in our new Winter 2020 issues cover story. So anyway, well, actually, here, let me see here. I'm going to read just this one paragraph here, Lorehaven's mission, so you know kind of what they're all about. Our mission isn't simply to promote fantastical stories to niche audiences. That's only a great start. Nor do our reviewers and writers take so much time only to push a favorite hobby. Rather, we believe that fantastical stories uniquely glorify Jesus. His people, the church, actually need these excellent imaginative stories, just like we need great songs, more biblical sermons, and close fellowship with one another. So if you're not familiar with Lorehaven and Speculative Faith, they really try to shine a spotlight specifically on the world of publishing that is created by Christians and is playing in the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, even some horror now and then, just different kinds of speculative, imaginative fiction that's all being created by Christians. So anyway, this is kind of the new evolution. I'll let you go to the actual article to get more details on it, and that can be found over at lorehaven.com. Again, January 1st is the date that they posted that article where you can get all the information. Now, I'm going to turn it over to my good ally, Adam David Collings, who's going to tell you about even more book news relevant to Christian geeks.
And we're going uncut again this month because I'm still super busy and this is the only way that I have time to get the bulletin out. So there's going to be no thrills. No frills, not no thrills. There'll be lots of thrills because I'm talking about great books. This is why I don't do unscripted stuff. I'm not good at it. Anyway, let's look at some books. So first of all, we've got A Poisoned Sky, a Captain Liam adventure by Logan Judy. Liam dreams of returning to Earth, the planet his fellow humans left long ago. But the obstacles in front of him are extreme. The trip is long, dangerous, and requires a ship and a crew. Those cost money, and Liam has none of it. Bereft of resources and facing a dwindling lifespan on a hostile planet, Liam seeks out his only remaining option: reward money for a radical terrorist. Then we've got Dawnbringer, the Star Clock Chronicles, Book 1 by E.J. Kitchens. In a world where the sun is a myth, dawn is coming. Bertram Oram expected trouble with both the timekeepers and the fairies. If he got caught in the fairy woods, he didn't expect to get trapped in an abandoned fairy court deep underground while trying to save airship captain Mariana Bowditch from a will-o'-the-wisp. Nor did he expect he and Mariana to discover an ancient treasure that could help free the world from the Time King's control, one that could bring back the people's ability to navigate for themselves in a world where sun and moon, east and west, are myths hidden by the fairy queen's star veil. Even if Bertram and Mariana escape the caves, there's no way to navigate themselves to an airship port and safety. And if the timekeepers find them, the world will never see the dawn. So this is a steampunk adventure romance novelette and the book 1 of the series. Fractures, Rise of the Anointed, Book 2 by Jason C. Joyner. It's not easy being a motorbike. It's not easy being a teenager with secret superpowers. DeMarcus, Lily, Harry, and Sarah Jane are settling into their new reality post-launch conference. They may not have to worry about Simon Mazur taking over the world anymore, but there's still the typical teen stuff to manage, not to mention covertly developing their supernatural gifts as an extracurricular activity. The four can't help wanting to use their powers for good, but when underground footage of their abilities hits the internet and two more powered teens who control water and another who hijacks sound waves enter the picture, they realize the situation is more than they can handle on their own. Meanwhile, a figure from DeMarcus's past complicates his notions of who he is and where he's headed, and the brokenness within Lily causes her to question how much darkness still lives within her. What they don't know is that there's still an ancient prophecy other forces are working to fulfill. Even their friend John Perspus, as a spiritual guide and tech from genius tinkerer Ratchet, they'll see the potential for light or darkness in each of them. It remains to be seen who will choose the light. The Death Horn, The Steel Hand by Jesse L. Roberts. So this is a prequel to her Steel Hand series, but it can be read standalone or in whatever order you want, I understand. An Unjust War, a ship without a captain, a mercenary caught between two worlds. Clayt serves under the captain of the Death Horn, one of the few captains who considers Clayt a worthy leader, not a bloodthirsty primitive. When a war breaks out between the Ordained and the two planets who refuse to bow to them, Clayt follows his captain into battle, where Clayt's conscience is put to the test as he's forced to fight drafted soldiers. Then tragedy thrusts Clayt into command, and he must protect the crew from both sides of the war and find a way to end it. Symphony of Star Songs, Belthoria Series, Book 6. Evil hunts brothers Dougray and Robbie as they seek the invisible citadel of Gallanbray for the next crystals. Traps await them and time is slipping away. Soon all the demons will overrun Galfane as Morgan grows more powerful. Will they find the citadel in time and escape the clutches of a lethal demon pursuing them, which is poisoning everything in its wake? So this is The Prophet's Anointing by Matthew Newson. A fallen prophet, the newly anointed, and a battle for the right to serve. Killian Russo seeks to live a life free from the trauma of his childhood. One night he decides to end his life. God stops him. His newfound joy is replaced with desperation as he must learn quickly to stand in his new anointing as prophet for God. In the unseen realm, the fallen prophet has sensed the release of his coveted prize to another. He is determined to hunt down the one who now possesses the anointing he believes will make him whole again. In this thrilling race against time, Killian must determine who is friend or foe while the fallen prophet disguises himself to lure his enemy. Will Killian be able to save the fallen prophet or become another casualty in the war against God? You can't fight fate, or can you? And we've got the City of Snow and Stars, Cities of Book 1 by S.D. Howard. And this is a #1 new release. I won't do it. Never. Tiana's gift is the ability to duplicate herself perfectly in mind and body, yet every time she uses it, she feels like she loses another piece of her soul. Her abusive and power-hungry father, Katerin, wishes to exploit her gift to create an army that obeys his command and rebuild the air-grid empire that fell 1,000 years ago. Going on the run, Trinia seeks out the aid of the kingdoms that destroyed her people. When things don't go as planned, she's forced into trusting a failed mage, a man of legend with a vendetta, and a talking wolf to help her reach her goal by making a promise she isn't sure she can keep. As she wrestles with the ghosts of her past trauma and new ones that keep piling up, Trinia begins to wonder where the justice is in all, and whether she has what it takes to stop her father and save her people. Never say never, daughter, for never has a way of finding its way to fruition. This is why I don't usually do uncut videos, except at the end of the year when I'm really busy. So that is the City of Snow and Stars. A Castle Awakened, Castle in the Wild by Sharon Rose, who is kind of well known for space opera, but she's delving into some fantasy here. A foreign usurper, a lady who longs for freedom, vicious beasts who want to rip them all to shreds. Who wins? Never one to shy from a challenge, Lord Tristan Petrum took possession of a forsaken castle. His search uncovered no hint of who built it or why they abandoned such a gem. What treachery would strike the founding family from history? Still, it seems a small matter since the generations have passed. If he and his followers can forge a life here to hold out against the ravenous Vixicats, the castle and this land will be theirs. As for the nearest kingdom, they never venture beyond their border or the mysterious forest of tower trees, except Beth dons a disguise. Oh, sorry. Beth, her last name is not Dons. Beth dons a disguise to take a forbidden ride in the Tower Woods. A last fling before she bows to the dictates of her noble birth. Her fun adventure turns into a nightmare of kidnap and rescue of sorts. Now she's trapped in a nameless castle held by a foreign usurper who calls himself Lord Petrum. Who could he be, and what will he do with her if he finds out who she really is? Thus, Lord Petrum finds himself the unwilling guardian of an injured lady who won't give her full name. A crime he didn't commit may bring retribution from an unknown kingdom. Do they have a claim to this castle, and that he now calls home? If he survives the Vixicats, will an army slaughter him and his followers? Will an army not? A Castle Awakened is the first novel in the Castle of the Wild trilogy. If you like fantasy with mystery, intrigue, romance, come and explore the secondary world with medieval undertones and the turmoil of clashing cultures. Unwrought. This is also a book 2 in a trilogy by Stephen Sandy. Long ago, the rival nations of Edenia and Raza fought a treaty, allowing them to coexist in peaceful isolation. Now, in the midst of calamity, heroes from both lands are confronted with an evil none were prepared for, and the hopes of peace are fading fast. Terrors of old, known as the Unbound, now roam the earth, threatening to destroy everything in their path. Gods to the people of Raza, monsters to those of Edenia. Their true nature remains shrouded in mystery. Calum, the first knight of Radiance, seen in generations, stands at the centre of it all, struggling to understand a strange new power he possesses that inspires fear in friend and foe alike. Faced with a looming war, vicious beasts of legend, and devastating revelations, Calum begins to suspect that a greater enemy is yet to be revealed.
Thank you again so much, Adam, for keeping track of so many awesome things going on that I am just completely unaware of. I don't know where you get all your awesome information, but it's always really appreciated. And guys, that was just like a fraction. That was like half or less of the stories that Adam reported on over the last 2 months. You can get tons more content, including his new podcast, Nerdheaven, on his YouTube channel, and learn more about Adam over at adamdavidcollings.com. Then we've got one more straggler I forgot to mention, also from Enclave Publishing. This one's titled Oath of the Brotherhood by Carla Laureano. This is book 1 of the Song of Sierra, if I were to daringly pronounce that. When evil threatens, who will find the faith to fight it? In an island kingdom where the old ways hold fast and a man's worth lies entirely in his skill with the sword, Connor MacNear is a musician and a follower of a forbidden faith, problematic for any man but disastrous for the son of the king. When Connor is sent away to a neighboring kingdom to secure a treaty, he learns that his ability with the harp is a talent that traces back to the magical foundations of a once united Sierra. But his newfound home is soon placed in peril, entangling Connor in a plot that has been unfolding since long before his birth. Only by leaving both kingdoms behind and committing himself to an ancient warrior brotherhood can Connor discover the part he's meant to play in Sierra's future. But is he willing to sacrifice everything, including the woman he loves, to follow the path his God has laid before him? All right. So anyway, like I said, if you want a lot more frequent updates, be sure to listen to the podcast, Christian Geek Central podcast, every week on podcast services. And for even more frequent updates than that, be sure to follow us on Twitter over at, oh wait, what is the thing? Twitter, yeah. At Christian_geek, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's it for this time. If you would like to suggest a website to be featured on the Christian Geek News radar, or maybe a novel or some piece of entertainment being produced by a Christian that's coming out or newly released, you can drop those suggestions in the comments below, or you can email me at paeter@spiritblade.com. All right, that's all for now. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Do you believe in the supernatural?
Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade, a full past audio drama, for free at spiritblade.com.